The VOGTLAND archery shooting method. Learn to shoot any bow in 3 minutes. Today in this video, in 3 minutes, I'm going to teach you a technique, the VOGTLAND hybrid recurve shooting technique. I'm going to teach you how to actually shoot any recurve or longbow that you pick up in your hands. If learning how to shoot a recurve bow or any other bow that you pick up with just your fingers and your eyes, the bow and the arrow, nothing else, no releases, no sights, no nothing. If that interests you, this is the 3-minute video that you want to watch. With the VOGTLAND method, I'm going to anchor like Olympic archers do, directly underneath my chin, and I'm going to look down the left side of the bowstring itself. The result is that anchor point plus that edge becomes a virtual rear peep sight, which allows me to be very, very accurate. Looking from this edge over the top and using the tip of my arrow as my front sight is what gives me deadly left-right accuracy. There's virtually no error in drawing back like this and looking down the arrow right at my target. The second part of this method is that we leave the front of the bow fixed, and instead we change the gap that we use to draw underneath our chin. Those three things, anchoring under the chin, that's number one. Number two is actually sighting down the left side and over the tip of your arrow. That's step number 2 of the VOGTLAND method. Number 3 is that we're going to use string walking to adjust where we go. For 15 yards, I'm going to start with my fingers up like this, mark off 1, 2, 3, and we'll start with 3.5. With this eye, look down the left edge of the string and put the tip of the arrow directly on the target. So if you, the camera, were actually my target, this is what it would look like. Then I would merely release. What I end up with is a very straight shot. It goes right at the target. There's no left, there's no right variation, there's no error unless I happen to twang it with my fingers. I'm at 15 yards, you're right behind me. I'm going to measure off 3.5 to start. I'm going to draw back under my chin, look down the left-hand side, put the tip of the arrow right smack on dead center. That is an absolute bullseye. Just wanted to show you what those two shots look like at 15 yards. Here we are at 20 yards, and the only thing that changes is the gaps. I'm going to choose 3 fingers. I draw back, put it under my chin, look down the left side, put the tip of the arrow on the center of the target. And that's a pretty good shot. There's the 4 shots at 20 yards. Here we are at 30 yards, and what changes? Only the gap. I pick 2 fingers, draw back under the chin, look down the left side, put the tip of the arrow on the center of the target. That's nearly a bullseye. Okay, here's our shots that were at 30 yards. It might be useful to actually look at what that gap looks like for different distances. 15 yards is 1, 2, 3.5 fingers. This is what it looks like when I'm actually drawing back. There's 20 yards, 30 yards looks like, 40 yards looks like, 50 yards looks like. Here's 80 yards. Let's review one more time. This is the 4-step VOGTLAND shooting process. 1, you're going to pick your gap. That determines the distance. 2, you're going to anchor underneath your chin. 3, you're going to line up the left side of the string with the tip of the arrow at the center of the target to remove all left and right error. 4, you're going to release very, very smoothly. In the end, you'll end up with a technique where it lets you pick up any bow, any arrow that you want, and be able to shoot with deadly accuracy at targets from 15 yards all the way out to 80 yards. I had fun shooting the video. I wish you guys best of luck. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. How'd you like to shoot like that?